It's the Larry Elder Show.
888-971-SAGE, 888-971-7243. My guest is the former elected member of the Collier County School Board in Florida. Currently, she is a member of the faculty at the Leadership Institute, CEO of Optima Ed, about which we're going to learn more in just a second. The wife of the very talented Congressman Byron Donalds. Please welcome to the program, Erika Donalds.
It's so nice to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Erika, thank you for joining me. I must first tell you, your husband was on my short list of VP candidates. I've talked about it after Donald Trump was the presumptive nominee, that I thought that there were more black gettable votes than there were female gettable votes. A lot of people thought he should put on a female. I mean, I hate to play identity stuff like that, but in my humble opinion, there are much more black people that are fed up with the schools, which we're going to talk about in a little while, the spending, the inflation, high gas prices, and I just thought, and I've always been a huge admirer of your husband, so articulate, so strong, so poised on these combative shows he's on. So he was on my short list, and I was very, very disappointed. I like J.D. Vance a great deal, but I think your husband would have been a stronger and bigger addition. You don't have to say yes or no. I just want you to know that's what I was thinking about.
Well, I'm the biggest Byron Donalds fan there is, so I couldn't agree with you more that he's the best choice for pretty much anything he wants to do. But I also think J.D. Vance is going to be an excellent vice president for President Trump.
Well, Byron has an extraordinary upside, so I'll be looking forward to following his career. Now, I know that you are involved in education. That's my big passion. I ran briefly for president. And one of the reasons I ran was not to displace Donald Trump. I knew he was going to be the nominee. But I thought that even he wasn't talking enough about the trouble that we're having K through 12 in urban America. Erika, for example, just to pick on one city, Baltimore. There are 13 public high schools in Baltimore, high school, public high schools, all located in the inner city where 0% of the kids can do math at grade level. That's just a crime scene. It's a horror show.
It's abysmal, and I've talked to some of the parents in Baltimore who are affected by that, and they don't have any school choice there either. So compound that, or maybe it's causation as well, right? There's no school choice, so they can get away with 0 kids in multiple dozens of high schools that cannot read or do math on grade level, but those parents are trapped, and that's why I'm such a huge advocate for school choice, both at the state level and what we can do federally, especially under President Trump, in order to empower those parents with options and really bring some free market competition into every single community in America.
And then let's go to Chicago. There are over 50 government schools in the state of Illinois. Most of them are in Chicago, in the south and west sides. Again, 0% of the kids can do math at grade level. And there was a study some years ago by the Fordham Institute, which is a think tank about education, asking public school teachers with school-age kids, where do you send your own kids? Nationwide, around 10% of families have their kids in private schools. Around 6% of black families do. 49%, Erika, of Philadelphia school teachers with school-age kids have their own kids in private school.
That's right.
39% Chicago, 28% LA. So the people who know the school system the best aren't putting their own kids in it. What does that tell you?
It tells you all you need to know, right? And they, as you mentioned, they know the school system, they know the product very well, intimately, and they don't trust their own children with where they are working. And we know there are a myriad of problems with our school system, from the teachers union to the curriculum crisis to a lack of free market competition, a lack of parent empowerment. We have schools telling parents, we don't want you involved. And then they complain that parents are the problem and the reason why students can't read. So there's a myriad of issues, but I preach school choice and economic freedom when it comes to education, because I think that is what is going to kill all of the ills that we see in our education system across the board, just as it has done in every other industry that we have. We don't have a monopoly, and we have empowerment of the consumer, which in this case is the parents.
Talk to us about the Leadership Institute.
The Leadership Institute, I'm really proud to be guest faculty of their school board programs there. I've been working with them for a long time. In fact, Byron and I were students at the Leadership Institute the first time he ran for Congress back in 2012. It's how we learned this thing we call politics that is required if you want to really get involved and have an advocacy and a voice in your community. So we teach, not only do we train school board members once they're elected on how to be effective, but more importantly to our conversation is we empower parents We train them how to be advocates for themselves at the school board, how to support school board candidates that they elect in order to get things actually accomplished. But we really want to make sure that these parents know that they do have a way to make their voices heard and a way to make change at the school board level.
Erika, how did the Democrats get away with fashioning themselves to be the party that cares for, quote, people of color? You look at somebody like the Obamas. I remember when Barack Obama got elected president, they moved to Washington, D.C., and Michelle Obama made this big show of visiting the various schools to determine where Sasha and Malia would go to school. They had a meeting with the principal of a public school, and I said on the air, Erika, I will wear a dress to work tomorrow if she enrolls those girls in public schools.
That's right.
And of course, they went to Sidwell Friends, the same $40,000 a year private school that Chelsea Clinton went to. And you look at Joe Biden, you look at Gavin Newsom, they all have their kids in private school, yet are adamantly opposed to school choice, giving other people the same option that they had. It infuriates me.
You see it across the country in the state houses as well. The very people that are standing up, voting against, giving mostly poor and minority families an option outside of their zone public school, are they themselves exercising school choice? But even more than that, there are parents across the country that are exercising school choice every day because they're buying real estate, like I did as a middle-class mom, in the community where they want their child to go to school. And you and I both know that disadvantaged families do not have that option, and they absolutely should not be stuck in a failing public school. But I would say it doesn't matter if it's a failing school or it's purported to be an A school. That doesn't mean it's an A school for every child. Every student learns differently. I have 3 boys. They all learn differently. They've all taken different educational paths. I don't want to be locked in to one way of learning, and no parent in our country should be either.
I mentioned Barack Obama because he has such a massive amount of respect. He could be doing something about this issue. His own girls went to a private school that was run by the faculty at the University of Chicago when he was a lecturer there. And we mentioned that they went to Sidwell Friends in Washington, D.C. Barack Obama's mom sent him from Indonesia, where he was living for a while, to move back to Hawaii to live with his maternal grandparents because she wanted him to have a better education. He goes to the finest prep school, one of the finest prep schools in Hawaii. Then he goes to a private college in L.A., Occidental. Then he finishes up at a private school in New York, Ivy League school, goes to Harvard. And so Obama never went to a public school. Same thing with Michelle. Michelle went to a public high school, but she got on a bus and went an hour and a half away from her local school. Today we call that school choice.
That's right.
And so they benefited from school choice, and their girls did, but they are adamantly opposed to it because they're part of the Democratic Party. And as you know, one of the biggest funders of the Democratic Party is the teachers union. Again, it's infuriating to me.
There was a time that Barack Obama was involved with DEFER, the Democrats for Education Reform, until he ran for president. Because why? He had to fall in line with the teachers unions.
Right.
They're too powerful for you to run for that high of an elected office and not have the support of the teachers unions. And really, they've been the enemy of our children.
Erika, we have 20 seconds. How can we help you?
Find me at Erika Donalds on all social media, Erika with a K, no C. Follow what we're doing, especially at the federal level. I've got news to share after the first of the year of the things that we're going to be working on, but it's all going to be about empowering parents and making sure children get the education they deserve.
Looking forward to you moving to the White House someday when your husband becomes president.
God willing.
Okay. Thanks, Erika. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.